Hello, Andrew and Nick here from Going Bush. Nick, it's exciting times because 2016 marks a massive milestone in Australian forestry.
It was back in October 1916 that Australia's first formal forestry legislation was passed, and this year the New South Wales Forestry Corporation celebrates 100 years. It's been an eventful 100 years, and even though the story of active forest management in Australia goes back much further, organised forest management began when the Forestry Act 1916 was passed and the New South Wales Forestry Commission was born.
The organisation's really had an incredibly proud history. One of the things that people don't really think a lot about is what a contributor it's been to the state's economy. So if you think about infrastructure, think about railway lines. Forestry Corporation and its predecessors have been responsible for the sleepers which have enabled the building of thousands of kilometres of rail lines across the state. We provided the poles for thousands of kilometres of power lines, the timber for hundreds of thousands of homes. So in terms of the overall state, the development of the state, the economy of the state, Forestry Corporation and its predecessors over the last 100 years has been a significant contributor.
The industry had its origins in the native hardwood forests, but as demand grew, New South Wales became one of the early pioneers of plantation forestry. Today, a balance of plantation and native timber is produced, and the state's forests are managed to meet a wide range of uses.
We aren't just about producing timber, we also have multiple responsibilities under our Act. So we're heavily involved in recreation and tourism. Today we're in the Swains picnic ground in Cumberland State Forest as an example. We're involved in road access for the communities across the state. We have a very strong stewardship role in terms of forest management. So forestry, it is very much about growing trees for productive purposes. It is about running a business, but it also has a wide range of other very important responsibilities.
Each year, thousands of people visit the state's forest for a range of recreational pursuits, everything from four-wheel driving and camping to gemstone fossicking and mushroom collecting. The Forestry Corporation has also developed a number of award-winning visitor attractions.
It's not something you want hidden. You want people to be part of the forest and understand that it's a sustainable process, that the timber in their house, the paper, all the things you take for granted actually come from a working forest. But it's still a place you can go and recreate.
Today, more than 7 million hectares of the state's forested land is held in permanent parks and reserves. The working forest estate is around 2.4 million hectares and is managed on a long-term rotation policy designed to yield high-quality timber in perpetuity.
I've been working in these forests in the Coffs Harbour area now for almost 30 years, and this particular logging operation is the fourth time we've been on this site. So for me to come out to the forest and see pretty much the same forest as I saw when I first arrived here 30 years ago, it still looks the same to me, is encouraging, I guess, and it just does demonstrate the sustainability of the operation. And you know, I'm working with people whose fathers and their fathers I've worked with in moons past, so it really does emphasise the sustainability of the operation.
I think Forestry Corporation has come a long, long way in the way that they look after country and culture and heritage, the ecosystems, and I think they've come a long, long way, and I think they're leading the way in a lot of areas.
The Forestry Corporation of New South Wales supplies the timber for 1/4 of all the houses built in Australia each year and produces 14% of the country's total timber market. A market which is set to grow as the environmental, sustainability and carbon storage properties of wood become increasingly valuable and recognised.
If you go somewhere and you walk past a pole or a concrete pit, you don't see anyone touch the concrete, but people can't help but touch wood. You know, there's that connection, you've got to touch it. And there's a sense that the community have really come to appreciate what wood can offer.
And the lessons of the past 100 years have the Forestry Corporation of New South Wales perfectly positioned to maintain its place as an industry leader.
I think one of the themes that always runs through a forestry organisation, and particularly this organisation, is the concept of sustainability. So it's a word which is easy to talk about, but in a forestry sense, one of the really important things that we do, and we have to do, is when we harvest the trees, we need to make sure that we do that in an environmentally responsible way, and we need to make sure that we're providing for the next crop of trees to generate the next forest for future generations.
October 2016 will mark the centenary of organised forest management in New South Wales and Australia. For 100 years, the Forestry Corporation and its predecessors have been major contributors to the growth of the state, with a proud history of infrastructure, employment, economic benefits and high standards of environmental management. New South Wales forests provide a renewable timber resource to produce flooring, furniture and structural timber for a quarter of all Australian new homes. After harvesting, the focus on regenerating both native and plantation forests ensures a timber supply in perpetuity.
It certainly has been a remarkable industry here in New South Wales. And Nick, the thing you'll notice driving around the state is there's still plenty of trees.
Andrew, renewable, sustainable and well placed to provide this state and the rest of the country and indeed the world with that timber resource for the next 100 years and beyond.